Night Talk Show. This is Keely, and she's going to talk about temperament. Keely, what is temperament?
Well, temperament is an individual's characteristics, level of an emotional or intensity, and it's typical recognized within the first few weeks of an infant.
So Keely, are you born with temperament?
I would say so. A set of inborn traits organized by a child's approach to the world, and having this trait determines how the child goes about learning about the world. And so an example of these infants would be like falling into three broad categories of temperament would be difficult babies, so babies that fuss or are easily upset, the
Very
easy
interesting.
babies that are calm and relaxed, and then the slow to warm up babies, which don't usually like the new situations, and I would say that I would be that baby because I don't
I'm
like
definitely that baby.
yeah, new situations.
So guys, we have another guest on our late night talk show. This is Destiny, and she's going to be talking about multiple intelligences. So Destiny, can you explain what multiple intelligences are?
Okay, so according to Gardner in 1995, he describes intelligence as a biological and psychological potential that is a consequence of experimental, cultural, and motivational factors after a person. So intelligence emerges from biological and cultural bases, but a lot of educational psychologists believe that it's based from more biological perspectives. And they also believe that these grow and change over time, and they complement each other. So it's not like you have one intelligence or the other. You can have multiple, and they can combine together. So examples of like multiple intelligences would be like logical, mathematical, linguistic, musical intelligence, or even spatial intelligence.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I like that topic, yeah. So, for our last topic of discussion for today's talk show, I'm going to discuss how our preferences affect our quality role. Well, first off, we need to talk about the two types of preferences that we need to acknowledge. First one is cognitive, which is our thinking preference, and the second one is affective, which is our feeling preference. In simpler words, they are defined as the way we use our mind and our hearts. And these preferences postulate a variation in human behavior and how we prefer to use our thinking and feeling parts of our mind and how those are important.
Wow, I think that was a great answer.
Yeah. It's a great topic to talk about. I'm really passionate about how our preferences affect our world, and I just think it's really relevant to today's society. So,
Why do you think it's relevant?
Because knowing your preferences can help you know yourself better. I think that's a really important aspect of this, which can then help you solve everyday problems, such as knowing if you're a cognitive person or an emotional person, which I'm very emotional, so that's pretty good. And when you, for example, when you're trying to use a test-taking strategy, you're trying to know what your preferences are with that. And in order to know your preferences, they have something called the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which basically is a questionnaire that helps people understand their personalities through cataloging their preferences. So it basically prioritizes our preferences in a way that'll help us eventually. So I thought that was super interesting. So
Wow.
yeah, individuality is just, it's something else. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Go Jays.
Yeah, roll Jays.